Chaos has erupted once again in the streets of Britain, plunging the nation into a state of unrest that seems to have no end in sight. As the shadow of the Southport killings looms large, the tension has spilled over into violent confrontations and destructive protests. From far-right agitators clashing with police in Plymouth to furious Muslims marching through Birmingham, smashing up a local pub, the fabric of British society appears to be fraying at the seams. The escalating disorder has sparked fear and uncertainty across the country, leaving communities grappling with the aftermath of this relentless turmoil. In Birmingham, a rumor spread like wildfire across social media, igniting fears of a far-right gathering near the Alum Rock area. Hundreds of Muslims responded, gathering en masse to counter what they believed to be an impending threat. However, what started as a defensive stand quickly descended into chaos. The Clumsy Swan pub became a focal point of violence as some in the crowd turned their anger towards the establishment, smashing windows and confronting its patrons. Despite efforts by older members of the community to calm the situation, the damage was done. This outpouring of anger, stoked by online misinformation, highlights the fragile state of social cohesion in a city already grappling with deep-seated tensions. Meanwhile, in Plymouth, the atmosphere was equally charged as far-right demonstrators clashed with police. The city center was transformed into a battleground as 150 officers attempted to keep the peace between opposing factions. 6 arrests were made, but the tension remained palpable, a stark reminder of how quickly order can unravel in the face of such deeply entrenched divisions. The scale of the policing effort required was described as off the scale, with authorities struggling to contain the unrest that threatened to spill over into further violence. The ripple effects of this nationwide disorder were felt far and wide. In Huddersfield, businesses preemptively shuttered their doors, bracing for the possibility of looting and destruction. The fear of what might come next paralyzed the town, as police were deployed to maintain a semblance of order. In Oxford, university staff were warned to avoid certain areas due to the threat of protests linked to the recent unrest. Even in the quiet streets of Southport, where locals gathered to mourn the victims of the Taylor Swift-themed dance class attack, the sense of unease was palpable. The nation, it seemed, was teetering on the brink of an abyss. As the chaos spread, so too did the misinformation fueling it. Social media platforms, once heralded as tools for connection, became breeding grounds for fear and anger. In Stockton-on-Tees, hundreds of Muslims stood guard outside their mosque, driven by rumors of a far-right attack. The situation, while largely peaceful, underscored the power of misinformation to mobilize and incite. Across the country, these rumors of impending violence fed into a vicious cycle of fear, leading to more unrest, more clashes, and more destruction. Britain stands at a crossroads, its streets marred by violence and its communities torn apart by fear and division. The events unfolding across Birmingham, Plymouth, and beyond are not isolated incidents but symptoms of a deeper malaise afflicting the nation. As rumors spread and tempers flare, the fragile peace that once held these communities together is crumbling. The challenge now is not just to restore order, but to heal the wounds that this chaos has exposed. The path forward will require not just a crackdown on violence, but a concerted effort to bridge the divides that have led the country to this breaking point. Only by addressing the root causes of this unrest can Britain hope to emerge from this dark chapter with its social fabric intact.